So in this video, two traveling brothers give their thoughts on the Passport Bros movement. Let's hear what they have to say.
There's a big movement going on social media. I mean, from every angle of American men, especially, well, let's just talk about the American black men. Really like downing our women and telling all the black men to get their passport and go get these women overseas.
Unfortunately, a lot of black passport bros harbor a lot of self-hatred and animosity towards black women for very superficial reasons. Hence why they promote going overseas to chase after non-black women.
You know, you being a older statesman, been here more than anybody. How do you feel about, I mean, because me, I feel like, in my opinion, I understand that there is a disconnect between black men and black women in America.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Thank you. And so that's his answer towards women are so much more feminine. Now, women are much more feminine overseas, and get your passport, it's your freedom papers. It's your freedom papers to travel the world and explore. It's not your freedom papers to say, forget about the women in America, forget about the aggressive women in America, the masculine women in America, the feminine women. There are great women and bad women everywhere.
Everywhere.
And this is an elder who's been here, coming back and forth here for over 30 years, and he's like, what did you just say?
I said it's bullshit. Women's are. Sometime with the Brazilian, I pull my hair. I said, God damn, what world is she in, and what world am I in?
Exactly.
And having 8 grandchildren, I think about most of them are women, and they're so beautiful. I looked at a post the other day, 3 of my granddaughters. I said, damn, they looking good on Facebook. And they're women, and they're beautiful people.
Right.
They're beautiful people. Women's are women all over the world.
The elder brother on the right made a very valid point right there when he said women are pretty much the same everywhere. A lot of the narratives that Passport Bros like to promote is that all women in the US are toxic, they're masculine, they're not submissive, they're not feminine, etc. And all women outside this country all have exclusively positive characteristics. But what these men on social media fail to realize is that women are not a monolith. You're gonna find women with both good qualities and bad qualities all over the world, including in the US. You don't need to travel across the world just to meet a good woman, especially considering the fact that there's over 170 million women in the US. You just need to learn how to vet a woman and to practice due diligence.
And when I was my last trip in New York, right? I mean, in the state, just recently. Oh man, I was at the I went to the little select room at Delta. What Delta?
Okay. Oh yeah. Delta Select.
And they were so kind. I was getting so many people to want to come to Brazil, mostly women. Oh, John, what about that? Introduced myself, went to the post office. Everybody in the post office, I was giving out flyers. Everybody just excited, man.
Right.
Giving me their phone number and everything, man. No, women are women all over the world.
Thank you.
And beautiful all over.
And there's way more similarities than differences.
Thank you.
I think the reason why guys might come to these countries and think that it's better, sweeter, because you don't speak the language yet, is she can't cuss you out the way she wants to.
We know how to come now. We don't have to go into that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the reason why they might not have hit ahead with them yet, because they don't communicate on that level with them yet.
That's yet another valid point. These Passport Bros and other groups of sex tourists fail to do their research and fail to actually grasp the local culture. They're just so fixated on sex and so fixated on women that they're not willing to put in the work to learn the language, to learn the local culture, etc. It is quite unfortunate that you have such a large number of grown men whose entire life mission it revolves around sex and revolves around chasing women. And a lot of the sentiments within the Passport Bros movement are derived from their inability to actually get women. You know, a lot of these men who consider themselves passport bros are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s on up, who may have had little to no interactions with women on a relationship or even at like a sexual level. So when these men go overseas and these women overseas start to give them a little bit of validation, start to give them a little bit of attention, etc., they start experiencing a sense of fulfillment due to the fact that they've never experienced that before. And of course, that's just due to a lot of those women using those men as a come up financially. But the truth is that traveling overseas to engage in sex tourism and trick off on women is not the solution to your dating problems.
And they're poor.
Yeah, and there's a little humility because of poverty and the thinking. It's no difference than maybe how black people would give white people respect back in the days because they think that you don't want to ruffle their feathers because they might be able to help you.
Right.
You know, that kind of similar thing.
But look at these, I'm so excited now. You look at these children now, even in the United States and Brazil, they are so intelligent at such a young age. Hell, when I was growing up, my aunt, we had, at 6 years old, I was working, 6 and 7 years old, and we have to bring the money home to my aunt, and she distributed.
Right.
At 6 or 7 years old. In 1949 or whatever, I was selling rubber bands to the MPs in Fort Jackson and the newspaper, the Columbia News.
Right.
Okay, so I worked back all my life.
Right.
Okay.
But I guess that kept the family closer, knowing that we're all going to bring the resources together.
But she was a general.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes you got to have law and order.
But she damn sure got law. It was law and order, man.
Okay, so last question is, in your opinion, you know, you've been coming here for over 30 years. How has Rio changed in that time frame? And is it for better, for worse, or neither?
Well, now, I guess politically, I've seen a little surge, say, in racism. Okay.
What the elder brother just said in regards to him seeing a surge in racism in Brazil is something that passport bros tend to not bring up. Now, am I saying that all of the locations that passport bros travel to are racist? No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that passport bros aren't doing their research and aren't doing their due diligence. They claim to want to leave the U.S. to leave so-called racist America, but will then go on to travel to racist countries, whether it's racist countries in Europe, certain racist countries in Asia, etc. But just like what I said a couple minutes ago, these passport bros are so fixated on sex that they could care less about anything else.
And the same ignorance with black Americans, with black Brazilians too. To give you an example now, I'm 80 years old a lot of the time. I'm waiting on the bus, and that black bus driver that passed my ass up all the time. Okay? A lot of times, the white bus driver would stop for me.
We taught to hate your own. You know how that is.
Yeah, man. It's something else, man. So, and you know, a lot of people don't think I'm 80, of course. And then I have to show them my ID and all that good stuff. But on the subway system, beautiful. Matter of fact, I think if you're 65, even if you show your passport, guys been showing their passport, and they're still going to get on free, you know.
So that's the end of the video. This was just a small clip within the interview that International Zoe had with Mr. Thompson. You know, they had an interview several months back in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and they discussed various other topics that have no relation to the Passport Bros movement, so we're not going to get into all that and prolong the video unnecessarily. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned to the channel.